Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 346. That sounds right. Of Prog review, and today I am talking about Rubycon by Tangerine Dream. I got this C, which is like the Virgin Years box set thing. Oh, I'm holding it upside down. How foolish! I got this C for a tenner. Well, just over a tenner off the Amazon. And it's got all their Virgin Years, 74 to 78. See, I had a bit of a problem. I didn't know whether to talk about Zeit, because I got that one, or talk about Phaedra or Rubycon. And I was like thinking, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And I thought, well, you always moan I choose the wrong one. So I'm going to choose the one that I wasn't going to review. So I'm choosing Rubycon. Luckily, it's the one I don't mind too much. I don't see the problem with Tangerine Dream is I don't really see them as being part of the krautrock scene. I don't see that because they go beyond krautrock. Excuse me. You see, whereas krautrock is usually, like I say, you have the synthesizer, obviously, but you have the drums or the drum machine, and there are elements to it that that make it kraut rock. And Tangerine Dream, I see them being more of that ambient electronic experimental music, especially if you can peel back to Zeit, which is very, very dense. Again, then it came to England, because Rubycon is the, oh God, is it? I don't know which one is it? Hold it. Let me just work this out. Because thing is the third, New Atom, sixth. I'm saying it's the sixth studio album. Yeah, sounds about right. It's the sixth studio album, and it's the second that they recorded in England. The first one being Phaedra, that was recorded at Virgin's Manor Studios, and with Rubycon you can see more. I mean, it's done in '75, January '75, released March '75, and you can see there's quite a change in the music. Well, especially from the likes of their early stuff. You have more sequenced material, lots of rhythmic variations using sequences and stuff. You also get a healthy dollop of mellotron, so you know it's prog. But yeah, Rubycon is essentially 2 tracks spread over one album, and again, it's very hard to talk about this stuff because it is instrumental and there's no vocals and it's very, very ambient, and it's not like there are some bits that you can pick out and go, oh, that's a good bit. I like that bit where it goes all swirly there. It's a bit. I find this. Why do I do this? Why am I doing this to myself? I could just talk about an album I don't like and it'd be a lot easier. No, so this one is. It's funny because listening to this after listening to Jean-Michel Jarre, because I don't tend to listen to the same kind of music back to back. I don't know if you do that. You don't think, oh, I'll listen to this, and I tend to mix things up a bit if I'm listening to music in real life. I don't like to listen to too much of the same. But listening to these two back to back, I was thinking, Rubycon shares some of the elements of Oxygen. Has sequenced bits and lots of arpeggiated moments, but it doesn't have those hooks. It doesn't have the pop hook. It is very much head music. It's very cinematic. Again, I feel like I'm talking in cliches here, but it is it's stuff that you can have on in the background, or have you can relax. There's no detail to it, so it's stuff that you can have on and have a conversation, or read a book. I'm not making the case for this album very well, am I? But I like it. I like it a lot more than their earlier stuff. I like it a lot more than Phaedra. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of repetition, but you do get the sense of there is some forward movement in the music, especially when you listen to the sequence bits. And I like listening to bits where and they're obviously manually changing the notes on the sequencer, on the hardware sequencer, whatever equipment they're using, and listening out for the variations, because they don't come in at moments when you're expecting it. You know, it's very much a human. Let's change that. Let's change that. So that I find quite interesting on this album. But yeah, I mean, this album actually did quite well. I think it got to number 10 in the UK charts, which is amazing for a piece of music that is very, very left field. But yeah, I mean, I, I don't think it has anything to do with crap rock at all. I think Tangerine Dream, they created their own genre of music. You can see how important their albums are. I mean, even peeling back to the earlier stuff, how important it is, how important they were to subsequent ambient acts. I mean, I hear bits of like Frippertronics and that with their earlier material. I hear, I hear all sorts of things coming from Tangerine Dream. They're a very, very influential band, and I think it's easy for them to be overlooked, especially these early albums. But yeah, I think yeah, I'm going to recommend. I think this is the one you should pick up. It's a personal favourite of mine. It's the one that I don't get too bored with, if you know what I mean. It sounds very, very, very dismissive. That one, it's not too boring. But no, I mean, I like it. It works for me. It ticks the boxes. But that's the thing about ambient music. Ambient music. It straddles two stools. You've got to somehow engage the audience. It's got to move at a certain rate, but it can't be too boring. It's got to, email. It's got to be able to engage the audience on almost a subconscious level, without rendering them into a coma, and that I think this one just about scrapes through. But the other ones again, I think it's these are music for the head music, enjoyed with one of those exotic cigarettes, if you know what I mean. But it's important stuff. Is it krautrock? I don't think so. I think they're just lumped together because they're they hail from Germany. I think that's it really. But I don't see it. So, this was interesting, was it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't interesting at all. No, it was boring, Darren. You've lost it. You've lost it. No, I mean, it's very hard to talk about these albums. Again, when you've got large swathes of gurgling synthesizer, drones and bleeps, how do you articulate that without, off the top of your head, without writing down copious notes? I mean, I could sit down and write an essay about this, but I'd probably hit myself over the head with my own shoe because it'd be so utterly dull and boring, because this kind of music doesn't lend itself to that kind of examination. It exists as its own thing. But I will talk about this, if you don't mind. This is, like I say, it's the Virgin Years, 74 to 78. There's two volumes of this. There's this one and then the later albums, obviously. And it's a really good collection if you don't have any Tangerine Dream in your life. And I just thought, well, it's easy. I mean, I've had these albums. I'm sure eMusic had a lot of their stuff on download, because I've got a lot of their stuff as a download in my library, but fuck knows where I've got it from. I mean, it's legal. I've got it. It must be from eMusic because it's the only service I use. But I went back there. I couldn't find it, so they must have took it off. I don't know. But anyway, I thought it'd be nice to own the CD, and this was the the easiest way of doing it. Very good value for money, by the way. And yeah, you get some discs, obviously. Otherwise, there'd be no music. See, and there's a booklet as well, which gives you a little picture of the band, and yeah, doesn't tell you much of it. It just tells you, about the album. Yeah, but there you go. So it's 1, 2, 3, 5 albums. Yeah, it's not bad, is it? 5 albums for a teller. Can't go wrong. Right, so that's it. I'm done. But yeah, Tangerine Dream, good fun. Good fun. If you like that kind of thing. And that's it. In terms of a rating, I've got to give this. They're not giving me much much to go with. It's going to be obvious, isn't it? I'm going to give this. Ooh, let me see. The favourite. It's nice and short. I'm going to give this 4.5 Rubycons out of 5. That's all they're giving me. 4.5 Rubycons out of 5. There's a half off because it's not perfect. None of us are. I like the album sleeve as well. The album sleeve is, well, it's been almost aped to death, isn't it? That kind of droplet album sleeve. It's and you've got all your favourite gizmos on it. You've got your Mellotrons, you've got your VCS3s, your Moogs or Moog. I swing both ways, and it's a real important record. I say, very influential record. All their albums are, especially early stuff, very influential. But is it krautrock? Nah, it's not. But we have to include it because the Wikipedia entry about krautrock says so. So there we go. My name's Darren. Look, only one more thing to say. You know what that is. Prog on.